Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Welcome back to episode 3 of Behind the Camera with Pete. And I think the first 2 episodes I did, the first one was Uncle Lou, and then last week I did the Sports Fury. I think those were home runs, and I learned a lot about them. And today, for my third guest, is somebody that I think probably pretty much all of you know if you're watching me. If you don't, I certainly want you to go check him out. Big time New York sports YouTuber. Not only college, he does NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. This guy even does golf, which I wish I would have thought of that, but I didn't, so I can't steal that from him. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the one, the only, Mr. Baddog 7676. How you doing, sir?
I am doing well, my man. Hope all is well with you. Thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you making the time, and I'll go ahead and plug this for you right now. He's going to be streaming. What are you streaming tonight? Which game?
I am doing Rockies and Dodgers tonight.
Okay, Rockies and Dodgers, sir. Any of you baseball fans out there, or maybe you're just a fan of Mr. Baddog 7676, go check him out. He'll be doing this very, very soon. He might be doing it while this is uploaded, but anyway, this is one of the hardest working guys on YouTube. Again, I just mentioned all the stuff you stream, man. You're really putting in the work. So that's a conversation for later in the interview here. But let's start with the origin of the channel. Now, I came along later. I don't know the Baddog of old that I hear you talk about and that I hear other video makers talk about. So can you explain to me, how did this whole idea come up for the YouTube channel in the first place? I mean, how long have you been doing this? When did this start?
Well, back in 2008, I saw a couple guys kind of trash talking one another. I was looking for New York Giants football highlights, and I came across a guy named Capizzle. So I checked into his channel, and I saw him talking about the Giants. And I was sitting there going, oh, man, I'd love to talk about the Giants online with people. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. I talk about the Giants all the time. I'd love to do this. And he kept talking about this guy named J-Wad. So, of course, I went and I looked at J-Wad. These guys are just trash talking. I watched J-Wad. This was a Texan, this big guy talking trash. And he was really popular. And I said, man, I know I can talk trash as good as this guy, if not better. So I'm like, I'm going to enter the TTC, which is what this was, the trash talking circle, where you just talk trash to one of other teams' fan bases and their fans. And I'm like, being a guy from New York, growing up where I did, I mean, you had to learn how to talk trash. You're going to get eaten alive in the playground, the basketball court, whatever it was. So I just kind of started doing that. And then I left in 2009. I had a lot going on. I bought a different house. I got I got a new job. I was getting married. There's a lot of things that went on. So I got away from it for a few years, and then I came back in 2014 and pretty much started doing the same thing again with the trash talking. But it kind of lost its luster for me when the Giants got really bad, because in the TTC you're supposed to talk trash every week, and when your team is 2-11, it just sounds stupid. It's for me to come out here and talk trash to another team. My team's 2-11, so I just kind of realized at that point, plus it was getting boring to me. I'm like, how many times can you say the same things over and over again?
Right.
I was like, you know what? I just want to talk about football. I want to be able to talk to other fans, not so much have to insult them every time I did a video. So I just kind of got into what I'm doing now,
Right. So that you rekindled it, you said, I think in around 2014 is when you said?
I came back in 2014. I started doing what I'm doing now. This September, past September 2018, I started working with the Sports Fury, and I watched them do, I was going to do the Giants things anyway, but I was just kind of reacting. I really just did the Giants. Then I started watching those guys and what they did, and I'm like, this is what I should be doing. I should be doing play-by-play. I'm like, because, I always felt like, my wife always says to me, she's like, why didn't you do this? Because inevitably I'll be watching the game, and I'll say something, and then 2 seconds later,
I think we might have lost him.
Watch Chase.
Okay, there you go. No, I got you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I'm sorry. I don't know. See, you cut out for a second. But it's fine. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, what better thing to do than to be able to come downstairs in my basement, watch a game, call it live, call the play-by-play, especially for baseball, because that's what I feel like I'm really good at calling. And just be able to talk to my chat, interact with guys that are watching the game, or, if somebody can't watch the game, to be able to keep them updated and give them play-by-play. I think it's awesome. I really love doing this. I've met so many awesome fans. I've got to collab with so many awesome channels, like, the Sports Read, obviously, the Entertainment Talking Sports, Philly 500. I just streamed with the Sports Reaction the other night. That was a lot of fun. I streamed with Sir Cardinal. We did the NHL hockey Stanley Cup playoffs. I streamed with Josie McFly. He's a big Yankee streamer. So, I enjoy collabing with other video makers too. So it's, obviously talking to you on the phone, doing this show, and a couple other things. I've worked with Small Ball. So it's just a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, I look to continue it, and Gleyber Torres just hit a 2-run homer. Let's go Yankees!
You never take a minute off, man. You don't, do you?
No, I try not to. Got to keep busy.
All right. So yeah, I had that conversation with Uncle Lou because obviously the two of us are. I mean, I enjoy other sports too. I mean, I like watching baseball and basketball and golf. I mean, I was a competitive golfer for most of my life up until my early 20s. But as far as YouTube goes, it's college football for me. That's really what my whole channel is based around. So there's a huge. I mean, we're talking about like a 7 or 8 month off season as far as YouTube goes. I'm trying to come up with content now.
Right.
There's never a dull moment with you because, like you just said, you did hockey. I mean, is there a sport that you don't do? I mean, literally. I mean,
yeah.
A major sport that you don't cover?
I really don't cover the hockey. Just a lot of people ask me to do it. So I said I would. I struggle with that, though. I don't watch a lot of hockey. So it was good to have a guy like Sir Cardinal in there who watches hockey. He's a really good play-by-play. And I can't believe I had to mention, you mentioned Uncle Lou. There's another guy that I had the honor of working with throughout the NFL playoffs. Through the whole playoffs, I was on his show and discussing, the NFL playoffs. I hope to do that again with him this year. That was a lot of fun. Because Uncle Lou is one of my favorite guys on YouTube. He always has been. I mean, if I ever want some information, college football-wise, especially Georgia Bulldogs, I mean, that's usually where I go. He's the first person I go to. Giants drafted, Lorenzo Carter last year. I asked about him. DeAndre Baker, obviously. I mean, I know a lot about DeAndre Baker. But if I have a question about any Georgia Bulldog, I mean, Uncle Lou is the guy I go to. He's hilarious, and I have a lot of respect for Uncle Lou. I really like him. So working with him was, an absolute honor.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to stream women's basketball. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to do tennis. But, there are some things I'm not going to touch. But guys do say, I turn on 4 in the morning, Baddog's streaming sumo wrestling over here. No.
So before I because I got some questions to ask you about YouTube in general with everything that's going on YouTube right now. But before I do that, give me, and this may be like, choosing between your children, but do you have a favorite sport? I know you love the Knicks, right? And you love basketball, you love baseball, you love football, you love college football, NFL football. If let's do the desert island thing. If you could only watch one for the rest of your life, I mean, which is your absolute favorite? Which sport?
The Yankees. Baseball is my favorite. Baseball is my first love.
Wow, I did not expect you to say that. So that I just learned something new. I would have thought you would have said the Giants or. Well, I guess I thought you would have said the Giants. That's what I would have thought you would have said. So you're a Yankees guy. You can't see me right now, but when you watch this on the playback after I upload this, I'm wearing a Yankees hat for you, sir, right now.
Nice, very nice.
Yes.
My man.
Yes,
man. Well, it started back in. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just for you because I can't stand the Yankees, but I have a Yankees hat, so I'm wearing it for you.
I appreciate that. But with the baseball, it just started in 1984, going to the Yankee Stadium with my father as Aaron Judge just hits one to deep right, but that's going to be caught. Sorry. It caught me off guard there. I thought that was going to be gone. Walking through that tunnel for the first time, seeing the grass, the summer breeze, the smell of the Cracker Jacks, the hot dog, just everything about baseball was awesome. We used to go a lot. When I was younger, and I say it all the time. It's something personal with me. The Yankees. Every night, during the summer, the spring and the summer and into the fall, I have them every night. They're like family. I know I got something to watch. So it's like a marriage with this team for 6-7 months out of the year, and I just fell in love with the Yankees a long time ago. Now the Giants. I am definitely more intense and passionate when I watch a game with the Giants because a football game is the equivalent of 10 baseball games. There's 16 games in a football season. There's 162 in a baseball season. So the best teams are losing 60 games. You're going to lose 60 games in baseball season. You win 102 games. That's an amazing year. In football, you lose 3 games in a row. That's the equivalent of a 30-game losing streak in baseball.
Yeah.
So the games mean so much more in football. So you'll see in my streams, I'm much more intense. That doesn't mean I don't get mad at the Yankees. I don't get mad at them last night. But the Giants it's a whole other level of intensity and passion with that team.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And the Knicks just stink. So
And I mean, I can relate. I really loved baseball growing up too. The problem is, I grew up in South Carolina, and South Carolina is not a baseball state necessarily. I mean, there's no professional baseball team. I was a Braves fan as a kid, but this is a football state, and and mostly college football. I mean, until the Panthers came along, there was really no professional football team in the Carolinas. So it's a college football state, and so that's really where I got that from. Now, you've seen heck, you said you started your channel in 2008. That's like the childhood of YouTube as far as a timeline goes. So you've seen YouTube change a lot, and with the new stuff that's come along as far as the live streaming being so popular, and that's really what you do a lot of, live streaming these games, doing play-by-play. I mean, do you enjoy what do you have a preference? Do you enjoy doing the live streams more than uploading regular videos, or do you have a preference at all?
I enjoy the live streaming, but I do enjoy uploading videos as well. A lot of times you'll see I'll come home on my lunch break and just try to put something on my channel.
Right.
There's some days I don't come home for lunch, so I don't. But I try to put one video up a day on the channel just to get the fresh content. I like to just come on here, especially when things are some breaking news or there's a trade or there's a rumor. Instead of going live for that, obviously I would just do a video. So I like to keep updating with the news and stuff. But I like to do videos for trades, updates, that type of thing. The live streaming is awesome, but that's usually, I'm going to watch the game anyway. So I always think, well, if I'm going to watch the game, I might as well call it and hang out with a bunch of people in the chat, because that's my favorite thing to do, is just be able to interact with them.
Yeah, and so when you started doing a live stream on a very regular basis, on a weekly basis, if not several times a week, it wasn't long after that you brought on, or not brought on, but hooked up, I want to say, with the entertainer Talking Sports. Now, we all know what's going on with him. He's teamed up with the Sports Fairy, and that's awesome. But can you give me a little bit of insight? I mean, how did that whole thing with you and the entertainer hook up? I mean, how'd y'all meet? How'd y'all hook up? And how'd y'all decide to start, sort of teaming up on doing those live streams?
So he reached out to me. And he said, hey, I'm a newer video maker. He's like, I really like your stuff. He goes, would you be interested, in coming on my channel, working with me about the Giants? And I said, absolutely. I'm like, definitely, I would love to do that. I didn't know him. I didn't know who he was at first. I just kind of, I didn't know. So I watched a couple videos of him. I'm like, I never heard of his channel. So I was like, well, let me check him out. And I was like, oh, all right, I like this guy. So the first week we were supposed to do it, something came up and I couldn't do it. So I'm glad he didn't just say, oh, screw this guy, he turned me down, whatever. He's like, no problem, man, we'll just do it next week. So we did it next week, and we didn't go live. We taped it, and he replayed it back in his channel. Now, we had really, really good chemistry. We'd never worked together. We talked for maybe 5 minutes before that first show, and it is on his channel. You can actually find those on his first channel. But there's a lot of comments. So you guys have great chemistry. You guys work really well together. And the next week, we did it live, and we just kind of feed off of each other. He is definitely my favorite guy to work with. He really is like a brother from another mother. I love that guy, man. I love working with him. I love that show. It's my favorite thing that I do on YouTube, is that Talking Giants with Chris, where we can just kind of, voice our opinions on stuff and interact with the chat. It's gotten really big. We've had some shows where we've had 250, 300 people in there, and this was during the off season. It wasn't during football. So we figured this year during football we could get a lot more Giants fans in there. But that's really what it was. We just kind of built on it, and then we started doing other things together. We've called games together. We did a little, some segues. for about a month where we did a weekly stream called Talking Nonsense, where we just talked about the most ridiculous things, which was really popular. And a lot of people asked if we're ever going to bring that back. And I said, it's usually a football season thing because that's a Friday night and nothing goes on Friday night during football season.
Yeah.
But, we've worked a lot together, and I really enjoy working with him. But that was how that started. He reached out to me. I said, let's do it. And like I said, from day one, we have a really good chemistry. So
yeah,
it works.
Kind of surprised when I heard you on one of your streams say that you hadn't known him for that long, because when I first saw you guys team up together, I figured you guys, I knew you hadn't been doing videos together for a long time, but I figured you had known each other for a long time because you seemed like old friends. So there definitely was a chemistry there. And that Friday night stream that you guys did where you just talked a bunch of nonsense with you had me in stitches, in tears, laughing sometimes at some of the stuff you guys were talking about. So it was great entertainment.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, definitely. And he seems like a good dude. But so you said he's like a brother, so he's like family. That is a perfect segue into my next question. This is something I'm asking every YouTuber that I'm interviewing because it's interesting to me. Now, everybody's family situation is different. Some people have kids, some people don't. Some people are married, some aren't. But everybody has a family in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like me and you have a lot in common in certain things. We're about the same age. I'm in my late 30s, 38, so I think you're right, around 40 or something too. You're
early 40s.
Yeah, you're married. I'm married. We've both been with our wives for like 20 years. I think we had that conversation one time.
Yep.
We both have young children, young boys. So I know how hard it is on the family to dedicate a lot of time to YouTube, and you definitely do dedicate a lot of time to YouTube. So what is the family dynamic? I mean, what does your wife think about this, or what do your other family members think about the Baddog 7676 channel?
It's funny. Not a lot of family members know. My in-laws know. They love it. My brother-in-laws love it. One of my good friends I work with, he was actually here with me last night. He wasn't on camera, but he actually, this guy DWG, he's in my chat a lot. He was here last night. He helped me set up the green screen that I have now. He's the one that drew the designs on my T-shirt. He did all that for me. So there's just a few guys that know. My wife is, she's cool with it. I mean, at first she was kind of skeptical, but she understands how much I enjoy it. And, she knows I'm going to watch the game anyway. And she doesn't want to watch a baseball game, so it's like, go ahead and call the Yankee game. Go downstairs and watch it. I'll watch something else, whatever. But, a lot of times when I stream, I'm not going to the gym because I try to balance that too. Weekends, a lot of times, that is family time. That's usually when I spend time with my family. Unless there's something major, you're not usually going to see me stream on a Saturday. Like I did the U.S. Open because the Masters was such a success for me. The U.S. Open didn't do as well. But I figured I had to try it. But a lot of times, you're not going to see me call a 1 o'clock baseball game unless they're not home. You're not going to see me a 7 o'clock baseball game. NBA playoffs are a little different. Like bigger events, she understands because it's helped my channel grow. But, you're not going to see me, like I said, call the Yankee Old Timers game on Sunday, although I'd love to. But that's when I spend time with my family is, weekends is when I get a lot of that in there.
Yeah, see, that's even more that we have in common because it's a very similar situation. My in-laws know about my YouTube channel, but a lot of people in my family don't, just because I haven't told them or they haven't asked.
Yep.
And same thing with my wife. My wife was very skeptical at first. In fact, I'd think it's safe to say she didn't like it. She did not like the YouTube thing at all. She's come around. She knows I enjoy doing it, and so now she tolerates it. And she's actually not only tolerating it, but she helps me by keeping the kids out of my hair whenever I have something to do. So I'm really appreciative of that. Now, I know your YouTube channel's evolved like everybody's does. Can you give me some insight? Do you have anything planned? Now, I saw last night you had a green screen going on, which was awesome, by the way. I'm thinking about doing that for football season if I can get my act together. But other than the minor things like that, is there anything in the future of your channel that you have in mind other than what you're doing? Or are you just going to continue to roll with what you're doing and just build your fan base that way?
Yeah, like I said, I got to get some better lighting in here. So finally got the green screen up. I was hoping to get that done by football season, so we got it done a lot earlier. I'm going to use it again tonight. I was using it for videos. I want to do a lot more collaboration with people. I want to get more guys on my channel. I had a big time problem streaming through OBS and getting static because I use this thing called loopback through Skype, and I think the loopback audio kept giving me static. So what I did was I got rid of that, and I just let the microphone on my computer, when they're Skyping me, I let my microphone pick up their audio, and it works perfect.
Wow.
So I'm like, now that I know how to stream with other guys, there's a lot of guys I just want to have on my channel. A lot of smaller channels. There's a guy, his name was One Giant Rebuttal. He does a lot of Giants video. He's only got a couple hundred subscribers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the same way. He's got family, so he's busy, but I think he's a really good video maker. I think he's underrated. It's a guy I'd like to have on my channel. One guy I really want to get on my channel, I don't know if he would come on my channel, but I've talked about this during Eagles Giants when we play. I want him to be on my channel. EDP and I have a long history, so I think it would actually be pretty damn funny. I think it'd be pretty funny if we collab together.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would get a kick out of it.
Definitely.
There's definitely Cowboy fans I would love to have on my channel. Shango is one, Dallas Cowboy Show, I think his name is. I would love to work with him. He's been streaming since day one. It wasn't popular, but since I was there in 2008, he used to stream Dallas Cowboys games. He would do the same thing. That is popular now. He's been doing it since I can remember, but I would love to work with him. Simus is another guy. I really like Simus a lot. I've known him for a long time on YouTube. So, there's a lot of guys that I would like to collab with during the football season. I know Chris and I have talked about doing that Talking Giants show twice a week during the football season, maybe a pregame and a postgame type of thing. But sometime during the week, if I'm not streaming, maybe a Wednesday night or something, or Tuesday, we're not doing that show, I'd like to get somebody from the opposing team that we're playing against. I'd like to collab with and talk over the game with them. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. And I like the way that you're, wanting to help out some of these smaller guys, because everybody needs that, man. I mean, I'm not going to go through everybody that helped me whenever I had 100 subscribers, but there were people that really had no business dealing with somebody like me, but they wanted to help me out because I get, they thought I was entertaining, or they thought I had a point of view that people would want to hear, and that really helped establish me. And I still don't have a lot of subscribers, but I wouldn't have got anywhere without them. So that's great that you think about doing that. So do you ever think about this? I know you've got to go, so this is going to be the last question. But with the way that YouTube is going now, I have a big problem with a lot of the things that are going on YouTube. I'm not going to sit here and whine and cry in my beer about it. I've already made a video about it, but it does worry me a little bit. And so I'm always looking for basically new avenues to be a content creator. And I spoke to the Sports Fury about Twitch, and that may be something that is more available to people like us that do sports in the future. Do you ever think about, going another avenue or something in conjunction with YouTube in the future? I've
definitely thought about changing platforms. My problem is I've worked so hard to get where I am on YouTube. YouTube is a good format. It's easy to use, which definitely helps me out a ton.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
My streams seem to go very smooth. I know some people have problems with them. The biggest problem I have with YouTube is the notification system. I just think the notification system sucks. A lot of my guys don't get the notifications, or they'll get them after my stream is done. Like, I'll be honest, I got a Sports 11 ATL is a guy that I'm subscribed to, and I got a notification for one of his videos that was done 2 days prior. I'm like, why 2 days? I had to wait for them to notify me about a video he did. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So that definitely agitates me a lot. That's my biggest thing with YouTube is that I feel like they don't notify. I feel like sometimes the view count gets screwed up. Perfect example. Last night I did when the Knicks drafted RJ Barrett, I did a reaction video. I was live streaming, but I recorded a video and I put it up much like I did with the Daniel Jones thing. Now I know that Daniel Jones I didn't know that was going to go viral, but I knew my RJ Barrett one wouldn't because I wasn't mad. Daniel Jones' reaction went viral. This one was not going to. But right. I had 1,000 views in 5 hours, which is a lot for me. That's a lot. Most of my videos top out right around 1,000 views. So 1,000 views in 5 hours is a really good video. And I woke up the next morning, and 8 hours later, it was at 1,046. I said, so you're telling me I got 1,000 views in the first 5 hours and 46 views in the last 8 hours? Like, that doesn't make sense. I know it would fall off, but that drastically, something's going on with that. I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, I've got a lot of problems with it. It's not. I mean, the service itself is great. I'm not complaining, like I said, but some of the new rules they have and the way that they, the way that, like you're talking about, the way that they mess with views and and suggesting videos, because that really is what you need, is for people that haven't seen anything, for your video to be suggested to them. And if you use a word in there somewhere in your video that they don't like, they'll bury your video, and that's the problem I have.
Yep.
So, but anyway, I'm not complaining about it, but I think that I'm hoping some competition comes along in the future, so that we can, have another avenue, just in case. I could wake up tomorrow. Some of the videos I make are questionable, quite honestly, and I could wake up and they could just take my channel down, really. So
right.
But you don't have that problem. You're out of the trash talking days. I'm still stuck in them in a way. So,
yeah.
But all right, man. Listen, you're amazing. You're fantastic. Everybody out there, if you don't know who Mr. Baddog 76 is, you must have been living under a rock for the past at least few years, if you didn't know him before then. Great guy, great video maker, great representative of all the teams that he's a fan of, and also a great guest. This is the second time he's come on with me. And listen, you talk about collaborating. One day I'm going to have to come on and return the favor for you, if you'll have me.
Absolutely. We definitely got to do it, my man. Maybe during college football season we'll hook up.
Oh, that'd be perfect. That's my time to shine, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. That's why I figured. I figured you could teach me something.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, listen, go have a great stream, and thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate it.
All right, my man. I appreciate you having me on, brother, and we will talk again soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Later.
Well, there you have it, folks. The legendary, the one, the only, Mr. Baddog 7676. That's it, folks. I was going to go live for this, but I had an issue. We were just talking about issues with YouTube. I had an issue with YouTube, and so I didn't want to chance it. The guy, normally I do these Friday night beer streams, but this is the only time that we could work out a time to do it together. So I put off the beer stream, the live show, so I could make sure I got this episode 3 in the books, and made sure that I got Baddog on, because he's one I really, really wanted to have on from the beginning. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for all your support, and I will see you very soon. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete, checking out.